I have a confession, and we're just gonna have to get this out of the way. I didn't finish my book on camera. I know. I know. Like, that was literally the point of this miniseries, was to finish my next book on camera, to document it, to hold on to that memory forever. And I didn't do it! Why am I the way that I am? I'm so mad. But it's okay. And honestly, in retrospect, I really should have seen this coming, because this is part of my final drafting process. When I see the finish line in sight, I get tunnel vision. Finishing the book is all I care about. And also, I don't want to pull myself out of that story. I don't want to remind myself that I live in this reality and I'm actually writing a book. Like, the lack of immersion has always been a problem for me. The more immersed I am in the story and in the writing process, the better quality the writing. And I just didn't want to take breaks to check on my battery, to think about how the camera is actually overheating behind me as it films all of this. Like, I just didn't want to deal with any of that, and so I didn't. It was incredibly consistent and incredibly productive, and that system, I'm speechless. It really taught me that if I can somehow become a full-time author, this is what I'm meant to be doing. I have the stamina for it. I have the imagination for it. I never have a brain that is short on story ideas. I have ideas that have been cooking for like the last 20 years, and I know that that kind of ages me, but yeah. And that really helped me finish the book. As soon as I did finish the book, I actually was running up on a couple of big editing deadlines, so I did need to hit pause on basically all writing related stuff and then work, because I'm not a full-time author yet. So we are going to be taking advantage of the next few days that I do have off to finish this finished book. And by that I mean imbue any of the final touches that I have in the back of my mind before I send this off to my critique partners. I promise that even though I am not actually able to provide you with footage of finishing this book on camera in this video, it will be worth watching, because there's so much that happens after you have finished a book. There's a lot to talk about. There are a lot of really exciting things on the horizon. In many ways, what is coming up next is actually the most exciting part of self-publishing. So I will be sharing all of that with you today, but for now, I need a snack, I need a beverage of some kind, and we're gonna sit down and we're actually gonna focus on imbuing this draft with the final touches, all of that final finessing before I send it off to everybody else. And you know what? This is still going to be exciting nonetheless, because even though I have finished the book, I have not finished the book to the level where I know everybody is going to be reading it exactly the way that it is. Like, technically, yes, because I'm not going to be making any substantial changes, of course. But after today, or however many days it's going to take for me to complete these like final touches, I am going to be sending the book off to everybody, and I know that they are going to be reading it for the first time exactly the way that it is, and that is incredibly exciting, nerve-wracking, awesome. But yeah, that's going to be like finishing the book all over again in many ways, like finishing it. So I will be catching that part on camera, and yeah, and I will catch you all on the other side of this B-roll, and we will talk a little bit more about the next things that I have planned for this book. I think it's gonna be fun. We'll talk all about it, but for now, let's get to work, because what time is it? It is already almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so let's go ahead and get going. have some updates. I'm calling an audible. So as you know, over the last couple of days, I have endeavored to fine-tune A Dark Sky Opens before I send it off to my critique partners. I'm no longer going to be doing that. I realized sometime this morning that I had inadvertently tread into very dangerous territory that has in fact held me hostage for years. And that is the territory of revising in pursuit of perfection. I don't have time for that. I cannot have time for that. And so I have decided that instead of continuing to indulge this itch to fine-tune the manuscript, I'm just gonna send it off to my critique partners. I'm just gonna do it. Does it make me uncomfortable? Yeah, to say the least. Is this going to cause me to lose sleep at night? Absolutely. But the reality is that this is something I need to get used to. I have always had this really weird aversion to accepting that other people can see something in my book that I haven't seen already myself. I don't know if this is just an extension of being a book editor and truly believing that there is just nothing that I miss. But the reality is that that is a psychological safeguard that I have put into place to make me feel protected from criticism. I like to believe that all of the critique that I receive is critique that I already saw coming. And to be honest, about 99% of the time it is, and about 1% of the time it's wrong. I'm going to be saving myself a ton of time if I just accept this process. Okay, I don't know everything about this book. I can't see it objectively. Help me see it objectively. These are people that I trust almost more than anybody else. They are not going to judge me. They're not going to think less of me. Many of them already know that good chunks of this book are crude, unrefined, first draft material, and they are prepared for that. So I don't know what I'm so afraid of. I also realized that the next step in this process, once I've sent the book out to my critique partners, is for me to order a proof copy, which is really, really exciting, and then go through the book again. Myself. Why am I doing the same job twice? Okay, so it is almost 2 o'clock. It's 1:59, in fact, and I have in 1 hour a FaceTime call with 2 of my other besties. It's also the Super Bowl today, so I'm taking the rest of the day off, but tomorrow I do plan to set aside some time to compile a short list of questions for my critique partners, as well as maybe a short list of all of the things that I know I want to adjust about the manuscript, just to satisfy that weird itch to be like, I know, I see this coming, it's okay. It's okay. And then I'll send all of that off to my critique partners and get this book off of my desk, which is an incredible feeling. And then I get to move on to the very fun step in the process, which is ordering a proof copy and using that proof copy to do my own revisions. And yeah, so next time you see me, which will probably be tomorrow, we're going to be talking about cover design, interior formatting, and then we are going to send the book off to my critique partners together. I'm going to use you as my moral support. But for now, I need to go. So I'm going to head off and I will catch you tomorrow. I'm scared. Ah! Oh my god. It's done. It's done. My hands are shaking. I finally have sent my book to my critique partners. I'm in a state of shock. I have been working on this book for a decade. And it's really crazy to have a writing process where I just don't let anybody in. I don't brainstorm with other people. I don't provide anything. Sorry, I'm like, ah. A long time ago, I learned that I would prefer to keep my story ideas to myself. I don't want other people to scoff at them, to give me any reason to not want to pursue them. And so I pursue them completely independently, pretty much from start to finish. So until the book is quite literally in a final draft form, I don't let anybody into that world. This does preserve the sanctity of the story to a certain degree, but it also is incredibly terrifying because now I have written and rewritten and revised this book independently for years, and I have no idea if it's actually any good because I cannot see it objectively. We will soon find out through my critique partners if it is any good. It is over 700 pages. It's a lot. I've given them 2 months to complete the read-through. Hopefully that's enough time. For now, it's out of my hands. Ultimately, I'm just really proud of myself. I'm proud of myself for not giving up on this book or this story, because if there's one thing that I want to be known for as an author, it's the level of detail that I imbue my stories with. It's the intricate magic systems, it's the intense world building, it's the level of attention that I have provided each and every character. And I want it to feel real, I want it to feel believable, and I want it to be as original as possible. That has always been something that I'm really proud of, and that takes time. Earlier I said I would talk a little bit about what I'm doing now that the book is with my critique partners, and that is locking in an editor. To be clear, I actually have not locked in an editor yet. I have one in mind. She's a good friend of mine. She has been almost a colleague in the editing industry for many, many years, and so I'm going to see if she's open to taking on the manuscript. If she's not, I'm going to need to find another editor. After that, I need to decide what I'm doing about the cover designs. The cover designs are beautiful, the ones that I've already commissioned, the ones that I've intended to use, and the ones that I will be using, to be clear. I love them. I'm going to put them up on the screen so you can see. Book 1, When Stars Burn Out. The background is actually illustrated by my sister, which is awesome and very sentimental. And I love the significance of the hands reaching towards the light because this is a sci-fi book and it does all literally begin when a star burns out. Then we have the next book, which I just finished, A Dark Sky Opens, and I'm gonna put that on the screen as well. But this is what we've got. The pendant holds a lot of significance. I love the colors. I love the different direction of the hands. I overall just love the energy of it. And we were able to keep the illustration that my sister had designed for book 1 here in book 2 as well. I really love the interior design of the books too, which I'll probably include some B-roll of. There's just something about this artistic approach that I really, really love, but I am afraid, and this is where I'm looking for some feedback, I am afraid that these cover designs give off more of a YA vibe, or even just a, I don't know what this book is about vibe. Most cover designs for specific genres are almost identical in nature. They look so similar to each other that I don't even really look at the details on the covers anymore. It's always a sword and a court of blank and blank, or a blank and blank and blank. You know what I'm talking about, like those types of titles. You will always find my titles in the book somewhere, and you will always be able to find the title of the next book in the book that came before it somewhere, which is kind of fun. So for example, A Dark Sky Opens is literally the first line in When Stars Burn Out. Then when you get the whole series completed and you read the titles of each book, they actually form a sentence. I'm very proud of myself for that one. So When Stars Burn Out, A Dark Sky Opens, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. You will find out what book 3 is titled, hopefully in good time. That said, I love having creative liberty over these things, these details that may put me at a marketing disadvantage, but they feel fulfilling to me as a creative and as a writer. So I'm gonna roll with it, but I am not sure about the covers. I was originally intending to have my cover designer give them more of an adult feel, but unfortunately, she is booked out until September and October, and that is when I want to publish this book. So I'm going to be going with the original covers. I love them. You know, I love them. But this is an adult series. It starts with a young cast. That is all because when you think about the military, the structure of the military. When you're 18 and 19, you can enlist and go into active duty. You can go into combat at that age. And I've always been really fascinated by that psychological transformation. When you're that young, you truly feel invincible. So to go into a life-threatening situation at that age and have the rug ripped out from under you, have that huge realization, that epiphany, that you are in fact not invincible, but incredibly vulnerable. That is the kind of psychological evolution that I find to be incredibly fascinating. That said, these characters from book 1 to book 2 change, mature, and evolve radically. It does kind of remind me of the show The 100. The first couple of seasons of that show, very hard to get through. Very cringy, very hard to get through. But if you get into the later seasons, you realize that these people are adults. They have really come into themselves. They've stepped into their power, and that is what I'm looking to get to. So the cast technically ranges from the age of 18 to 25, so there's a relatively large age bracket going on there. But regardless, they are a younger cast, but these are adult books. And you'll find that out especially in A Dark Sky Opens. I think that's also why I have been likening it to The Last of Us meets The 100. The Last of Us is obviously an adult story, but it does feature a young protagonist, Ellie, who is, I think, 16 when it all begins, maybe even younger. I can't remember, but she's young. To me, that does a good job of representing A Dark Sky Opens thematically and in terms of energy. It's definitely more mature. There is violence in these books. No spice yet. So either way, I am going to be commissioning more adult versions of the covers just to have on hand and then maybe use as a limited edition release later down the line or something. But if you have suggestions, if you have ideas, I would love to hear them. For now, this is the cover and the interior design that I'm going to be going with. I am so excited. I cannot wait to have this book be available to people. It's definitely, I think, better than book 1. Book 1, thankfully, is incredibly easy to read. I've had tons of people tell me that they were able to read it in 1 day, maybe 2 days. Somebody actually claimed in a single sitting, which is quite impressive. So it is a quick read. Book 2 is longer, but it should also be a relatively quick read. When I was reading through it the other day, I was reading at a pace of around 52 pages to 60 pages an hour, and to me, perfect pace. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking. I'm still feeling just kind of in shock, really excited, but kind of in shock. I need to go eat something and relax and just kick up my feet because I have accomplished something that I have been working for a very long time. But thank you all for being here on my channel. Definitely subscribe if you like videos like this and drop a comment down below introducing yourself. If you're somebody who's been here before, drop a comment down below and introduce yourself. Writing can be a very lonely endeavor, so I firmly believe we should all have community, we should all make friends. So if you're working on something special, let me know. Otherwise, I will see you all in my next video. Thank you again for being here. Bye.